Okay, hello everyone and welcome. My name is Michael Fortin. I'm the Director of Promotion for the Maine Tax Portal here at Maine Revenue Services, and I'm joined by our panelist, Lisa Grayton, Deputy Director of the Income and Estate Tax Division. And it's my pleasure to be your MC for our Real Estate Controlling Interest webinar for municipal assessing officials, providing an overview of the new Maine Tax Portal that went live on October 15th, 2024, which marked our fourth and final rollout of the Maine Tax Portal. The portal is now open for individuals and Maine businesses to file and pay taxes, view notices, and much more. You can visit the Maine Tax Portal information page to learn more about the Maine Tax Portal. I'll give you the web address for that, and then we'll be demonstrating that a little later this afternoon. The web address, I'll give it to you a couple of times, is maine.gov/revenue/portal. Once again, it's maine.gov/revenue/portal. And before Lisa gets started with her presentation, I have a few housekeeping items to review with everyone. First, the raise hand button at the bottom of your Zoom screen will not be used for today's session, although you'll have many opportunities to ask questions. Attendees can ask questions by using the Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and Lisa will answer as many questions as possible here today, but if we're unable to address all your questions, then we will follow up via email following the webinar. There may be times when you'd like Lisa to repeat a step that you've missed, or perhaps you're simply unable to watch the entire session today. Therefore, it'll be helpful to know that today's webinar is being recorded and can be viewed by anyone who's registered. We will be sending out an email with the link to the Zoom website where you can view the recording tomorrow. There are no documents or presentation materials that you'll need for today's webinar. Feel free to take notes, but know you can always rewatch the recorded material anytime you'd like to review it. And finally, we should be reminded there can be unexpected technical challenges, and we're all speaking to you live. Therefore, we appreciate your understanding and ask for your patience if we should experience any technical difficulties. That concludes all of our housekeeping items, but one last point before Lisa gets started is along with Lisa, we have Heather, Rachel, and Lisa, a different Lisa, helping behind the scenes today with the demonstration of the Maine Tax Portal, so we'd like to thank them for their assistance as well. Lisa, we're ready to get started.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Hello, and thank you everyone for joining our presentation today. We're very excited to demonstrate the transfer tax declaration process using our new online application, the Maine Tax Portal. Today's session will focus on the municipal assessing official side of the process. We've already held training sessions for the originator and registry sides of the process. We will cover 6 topics during today's presentation. First, we'll demonstrate how a municipal assessing official would create a primary Maine Tax Portal username and how they will authorize other personnel to create secondary logins, allowing access to view completed real estate transfer tax declarations, or RETTs, for their municipality. Second, we will demonstrate how to review and complete periodic updates of your municipality's RETTs using the Maine Tax Portal. Third, we will demonstrate how to submit your annual real estate assessment analysis return, otherwise known as the turnaround document. Fourth, we will demonstrate how to search for completed RETTs for your municipality and allow individual printing of a RETT document. Fifth, we will demonstrate how to search for completed RETTs in your municipality and allow bulk printing of all RETT search results. And last, we will demonstrate how to use the public search feature to search for RETT declarations for any municipality in Maine. So as you can see, we have a lot to discuss and demonstrate today. Please add your questions to the Q&A portion at any time, and we will respond to you. Also, please know that if you miss a section of the presentation, you can rewatch the recorded session as many times as needed once you receive the recording link in your email tomorrow. All right, let's get started. You can access the Maine Tax Portal in 2 different ways. directly from the MRS website at maine.gov/revenue and locate the Electronic Services drop-down menu, or on the same MRS website using the green Maine Tax Portal square. Once we are on the portal, we notice an area in the upper right side of the screen where we can log in with a username and a password. We will use this once we've created our username. We also see a link to create a username in that same area of the screen. Each municipal assessor, or those acting in the capacity of the primary assessor, will need to create their own username for their municipality, allowing themselves primary access to review real estate transfer tax declarations on the Maine Tax Portal. The primary assessor will then perform an additional task to manage secondary logins, which will authorize other assessing office personnel to create their own usernames, granting them access to view real estate transfer tax declarations for the municipality also. MRS does not recommend password sharing, so we will demonstrate how to take these steps now. For today's demonstration, we are using our testing environment and fictitious RETT transfer information listing the MRS physical address in Augusta. Therefore, we will set up a fictitious municipal portal login for Augusta. Let's click on the Create a Username link now. A message provides us with information on why we may not need to create a login to use the portal. We do know that we need to create a login for our municipal assessor to view these RETT declarations for their municipality, so we will select Next to continue. We are prompted to select a reason for creating the username. We choose the reason of municipality or county or registry, and then select Next. Now we see an instruction screen that notifies us that we will need the Federal Employer Identification Number, or FEIN, of our business, which is the FEIN of the municipality, along with a letter ID from MRS to establish our username. The letter ID will be located on a Maine Tax Portal invitation letter that was mailed to each municipality as we switch to our new system on October 15th. An example of the Maine Tax Portal invitation letter is on your screen now. We can locate the letter ID and letter date in the upper right-hand corner of the letter. Going back to the portal, we know that we have both pieces of information handy, so we can proceed by selecting Next. Now we choose the ID type of Federal Employer ID. We'll enter our fictitious ID. And then we'll select the account type of Real Estate Municipality. And we'll proceed to the next screen. We are prompted to choose our verification type. The first choice is grayed out and not available for this type of account. So we'll select the toggle near letter ID and date, and then we'll select Next. Now we'll enter the letter ID and the letter date from the letter we just viewed. And then we'll select Next. We now input our chosen username, as well as the first and last name of the fictitious municipal assessing official who is creating this account. And now we'll input John's email address twice for confirmation. Please note that we'll be using the property tax email address and telephone number throughout today's presentation for your convenience. We're going to choose No for paperless mail delivery. And next, we must create our password. Please note the information link that provides information on MRS password requirements. Now we'll input our password. And then once again to confirm. We also choose a secret question from the list, and then we'll enter the answer. And last, we'll enter John's telephone number. And we'll select Next. A summary of our registration information displays. Everything appears correct, so we'll select Submit. We're now prompted to input John's valid email address again. This acts as a signature and confirmation that we truly intend to create this municipal username. And once we click OK, we'll see a confirmation message provided for our submission. I think you have to take away the capital P in the second one. It has to be exact, folks. Exact match. There we go. There's our confirmation for this submission of our new username. Now let's click OK. And we are going to log into the portal using this username and password that we've just created. And we'll hit login. So since this is our first login, we are prompted to set up the two-step verification method that best suits our needs. We prefer to receive emails containing our security code, so we'll choose the Add Email link in the email panel. And we'll input our email, and then we'll hit Save. So in a non-testing environment, we would be provided an email with our security code, which we would input on the screen here. In our testing environment, we're going to click this populate link to simulate that security code. We'll then choose Confirm. And the screen now allows us to set up a second verification method also. But today we're choosing only to add email. So we'll confirm our choice again. Now, please note that all users will be asked to set up that two-step verification method once, but will be required to input the new code generated each time they log in. So to recap, we've just completed the setup of the primary assessor's login. We will now show the process the assessor will follow to authorize secondary logins. MRS advises the assessor to take these steps at the initial login of the assessor's username creation to avoid losing personnel functionality in review of RETT declarations. To authorize secondary logins, we will navigate to the Manage My Profile link under the mouse in the upper right corner of your screen. Clicking on Manage My Profile displays other options an assessor could take. We will click on the More tab for options on managing access. We locate the panel titled My Users and see a link for Manage Secondary Logins. Let's select that now. On the secondary logon screen, we choose the Add link to begin adding our authorized user information. This screen does require input of the secondary user's intended username, so perhaps coordination with that user is best to determine what they prefer their username to be. Or perhaps there's already an established username that they use to access other programs in your office. MRS leaves this username creation up to your internal office procedures and discretion. So today we're entering a username of W. Jean for our secondary user, along with her full name, as well as the email address, twice for confirmation. Again, we're still using the property division email, but you would use Wilma's actual email address because she will receive an email following this, allowing her the opportunity to complete her username creation. And lastly, we need to choose the type of access. We will choose user, and then we'll select next. So we find ourselves on a very busy screen. Please allow us to simplify for you with a reminder of what we are trying to accomplish. We want to allow our secondary user, Wilma, access to the same real estate municipality account that our assessor, John, just registered for. To accomplish this, we'll go to the right side of the screen and choose the Select None to deselect all of the account types that were previously checked. We then type Real into the filter bar and we'll hit Enter. Now only two account types display, And we can enter a check mark in the box near Real Estate Municipality, and then we can select Submit. A message displays to inform us that Wilma will receive an email with further instructions. We can click OK to dismiss that message. And then we can also click on the small link labeled Secondary Logons to step back to the prior screen. And we see that Wilma is now listed in the table of users at the bottom of the screen. We can use that add link to repeat these steps for each user that we need to add until all secondary login users have been added. Now that we have demonstrated how to create the primary and secondary users, we will transition to the second portion of today's demonstration, how to periodically review and update RETT declarations. MRS highly encourages a municipality to periodically review their RETT declarations, providing updated information to the transfers throughout the year when it's most convenient for you to do so, instead of waiting for the annual real estate assessment analysis request or turnaround document to come from MRS and then rushing to update everything all at once. If an assessor were able to provide updates throughout the year, perhaps on a monthly basis, each update made populates the entry on your turnaround document spreadsheet. Essentially, by doing a little bit of work throughout the year, you could minimize the amount of work you have to do right before the due date of this annual task. Let's demonstrate this for you now. To access your municipal RETT list, click on the View and Update Monthly RETT Declarations link. We see a table with declarations in a pending state. We'll click on the first entry, and a new screen will open with some details from the transfer. We can view the date of the transfer, the purchase price, book and page information, as well as the grantees and grantors. There is no information to adjust or input on this screen, so let's proceed onward. Now we reach the first screen where adjustments may be made to the data reported, and those adjustments will be reflected on your real estate assessment analysis return. The screen alerts us with an error message that the land and/or building values are required to be entered by an assessing official. To edit the row, we click on the exclamation point near the physical location. A new screen appears, displaying the data in a more visually appealing format. We scroll down to the Assessed Building Value field, and we'll enter $2 million. Next, we input $1 million for the assessed land value. We have no information to support an unusable sale, so we do not enter any other information on the remainder of the screen. We'll choose OK to finish our input. We now see the information display in the table without errors. Let's move on to the next screen. We're provided an opportunity to do a final review of the transfer and our valuation data. If we had made an error, we could use the previous button at the bottom of the screen to step back and make any corrections. Everything does appear correct, so we'll select the Submit button to transmit the reviewed RETT to MRS, and we do receive a confirmation message for this submission. Let's click OK to return to the summary screen. And we're going to go back to that View and Update Monthly RETT Declarations link. We're going to update the last one. So let's select that. And we know there's no information here to change, so we'll just move right to the second screen. Again, we see that error message that indicates the land or building value are required to be entered. So we'll edit the row by clicking on the red exclamation point near the physical location. And we will input the assessed building value of $250,000 and $150,000 for the assessed land value. We do know that this sale of a commercial restaurant included the contents of the restaurant's kitchen, so we'll mark that it is unusable. We'll select a reason, and we'll add the assessor comment of sale included kitchen equipment. Could you select the reason of other? And folks, because we didn't select the reason, it still is in error in our table. So we'll go back and we'll select the reason of other. And now we've concluded our completion of this. So we'll select OK. Now we're no longer in error. So we're good to go. We'll just go to the next screen. We'll take a final review, make sure everything is correct. It does appear to be correct. No errors there. So we'll select Submit now. And that reviewed RETT will be again transmitted to MRS. And we see the familiar confirmation page. Let's click OK again, and we'll return to that summary screen. So this brings us to demonstration point number 3. Due to the transition between our old and our new computer systems, MRS used the prior email and/or U.S. postal mail method of notifying a municipality of their annual real estate assessment analysis or turnaround document filing responsibility. MRS does not expect you to provide this information using the portal for the period ending in 2024, but does want to demonstrate what this online filing would consist of for future annual returns. Also, in the future, the link to access the filing for the real estate assessment analysis return will be published to your portal account annually. Let's take a look at this. In our logged in summary screen, we can see a link to view and file returns under the real estate municipality account. Let's select that link now. We can see the period date is a link, so we'll select that also. We then choose one more link labeled File, View, or Amend a Return to access the return. We see an instructional screen that explains the process we will use to provide our annual information. We will download the pre-filled template using the button below. We will edit the template to provide information for columns I through V. We will save the edited template to our computer, and then we'll use the Upload Transfers button to import that municipal information. At no point will we add or remove any rows from the spreadsheet, or will we change the formatting. Doing so will cause errors, and the upload transfers process will not work. Let's begin by selecting the download template link. We can see that the spreadsheet downloaded the same information that we reviewed a few minutes ago. We have 2 property sales in our municipality, and all of the data we provided about the sale appears in non-editable columns A through H. We can also see that columns I through V contain the information that we input today. This really illustrates the point we were making earlier. If the assessing official has time throughout the year to input this information periodically, the annual filing of this return becomes so much easier. We simply need to review the information one last time. However, if you haven't had a chance to input information periodically throughout the year, the transfers would still be reported in columns A through H, and you would be able to input the assessment data into columns I through V at this time. Now we know we have everything ready to go today. We already have our final spreadsheet uploaded to our computer, so we're going to close out of this and go back to the portal, and we'll upload our file by choosing the Upload Transfers button. We'll select our file, and then we'll click OK. So now we can see there's a file in the attachments table at the bottom of this screen, as well as a message that the file validated successfully with no errors. If we had any errors detected, we could use the Remove link to remove the file. We would then make any corrections in our saved file and then upload the corrected file again. Since we are good to go, we'll choose the Next button. We're now given a summary screen of the transfers on our file. We had 2 property transferred records that validated successfully, as well as 1 sale that was unusable. This does match the input and is the expected summary, so we'll continue to the next screen. The declaration screen requires the municipal assessing officials submitting this turnaround document to check the box to declare that the information in the submission is true and correct to the best of their knowledge. We then input the name of the person completing the declaration twice for confirmation, and we'll select Submit to transmit this to MRS. We see a confirmation screen for the submission. So we're moving on to our fourth point of the day. Perhaps there is a circumstance where a municipal official would like to view a RETT declaration for a property transfer in their municipality. To do this, you would choose the Declaration Search link. This search allows the input of optional criteria. For instance, you may input the document locator number or DLN directly. Let's input the DLN of 42026, and then we'll choose the search button. We see the item display and the results at the bottom in the table at the bottom. And if we click on the DLN number, we can view the submission. We could scroll through to view this information. Now let's close this window and go back to the results table. We also see a print link. Let's click that now. A PDF of the RETT declaration appears, and we could choose to print it from here. Now, one note for you, you will not see the words testing do not mail on your document. That's because we're using our testing environment today. Let's close out this PDF. And now we'll clear the DLN that we'd input, and we'll look at some other search criteria. We see other fields allowing searches by a specific book and page, by grantee or grantor, price range, or by transfer dates. Let's input a minimum price of $100,000 and a maximum price of $3 million. And then we'll select the search button. Now we can see two results display in the table at the bottom, each with their own print link, allowing you to choose to view each or print each separately as desired. Again, this only provides transfer information results for your municipality. In our fifth point of the day, perhaps you know your search results will be voluminous and you will not want to print each document separately. We have created a function that will allow you to input your search criteria and then receive an email with a PDF of all the RETT documents, allowing you to print them in bulk or save them to your computer. Let's choose the Municipal Real Estate Transaction Report. This screen provides the opportunity to input your email address, the date parameters of your search, with 1 year being the maximum time frame, whether you wish to include unusable sales or not, and the sales price parameters. So we are inputting our email address twice, a start date of August 1st, 2024, an end date of September 30th, 2024. We're going to say yes to sale unusable, and we're going to do a minimum price of $1 and a maximum price of $5 million. And then we'll select next. We're now advised that this request is ready to submit and will be processed overnight, sending results to the email address that you'd previously input. Most results will be provided within 24 hours, but submitting this request late in the evening, on a weekend, or on a holiday will delay the response. But we hope that our assessing community is enjoying a healthy work-life balance and is not working during those hours. So for our demonstration, we do want the results delivered via email, so we'll choose to select the Submit button. And again, we're provided with a confirmation number for our request, and we know that we'll receive this email tomorrow with a PDF of all the RETTs meeting the criteria that we input. So now we've come to the last point of the day. Perhaps you have a need to do a broader search on property transfers, looking to see how neighboring municipalities are faring in the property transfer market. Let's take a look at the public search functionality. Since the public search is public, it is not a logged in function, so we'll log out of John's account now and then return to the main screen of the main tax portal. We can navigate to the Property Taxes panel, and we can locate the RETT public search link. Clicking on this link brings up a search screen, and we can immediately see a warning that the county is a required field if the book and the page are not filled in. We can also see a variety of other search parameters we could use, such as municipality, minimum and maximum purchase price, and transfer dates. In the interest of time, we will not demonstrate an actual search today. We will, however, point out that the declarations must be finalized through both the registry recording process and the MRS final review before these RETT declarations will appear in the public search results. Any in-progress or rejected declarations will not be viewable by the public, which is the same practice used over the last dozen years on the prior MRS public search page. That concludes today's transfer tax presentation as it pertains to municipal assessors. I'll toss it back to Mike now for some important closing announcements. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Great job. We'd like to invite our audience to please ask any questions you may have and type those into the Q&A area at your bottom of your Zoom screen. We'll give you a few moments to get those last questions in before we end today. Right now, we'd like to take a quick look at the main tax portal information page, which contains a wealth of information that you'll find useful. And on your page, you'll see right now that we're at the main revenue services homepage. The address is main.gov/revenue. We're going to scroll the page down, and you'll see at the bottom of the page is a heading. It says important updates, and we're going to look to the third link from the top there. Actually, fourth link. Looks like we had another link added there. So fourth link, which says important information about the main tax portal. So we go ahead and click that link, and that brings us right here to this page. And this is the main tax portal information page. And if you'd like to bypass the main revenue services homepage and come directly here, you can type it in to your browser, main.gov/revenue/portal. So we'll take a look and see what we have. On the top of the page is a general introduction and overview of the main tax portal, including a short video there that you can watch. Underneath that, you'll see 4 boxes. These blue boxes say rollout 1, 2, 3, and 4. And those rollouts or phases of the main tax portal are each of the rollouts that we've had over the past several years, which concluded with our most recent and final rollout, rollout 4, which was in October. And as we hover over the boxes, we can see all of the different taxes that were introduced during each phase or each rollout. So if you'd like to learn more about that, you can visit and check that out. And then we'll look at the blue buttons underneath. You'll see the first one is main tax portal login. So that provides a quick, easy way to jump over to the portal itself to perform any logged in or non-logged in functions. The second button, FAQs, we're going to click that. The FAQs come from attendees from webinars like yourself who have sent in questions, and we have posted those questions here and their answers so they're easy to review. If there's a question that's on your mind after today's segment and you would like to learn more about the portal, there's a good chance the question may be on this list. So that's a great place to start, and that is available for you. We're going to click back now, and we'll look at the next button, which are the instructional videos. Instructional videos are short, narrated like video segments that will demonstrate different features and functions of the main tax portal. So that is always available to you 24 hours a day. If you are a new user to the portal, you may find those videos helpful in getting familiar with the different parts of the portal. Now we're going to click back now again. There's a couple more buttons listed there, and those are for payroll service providers and another for tax professionals. So if you are a tax professional, or if you know a tax professional and you have clients that would benefit from getting some helpful tips on transitioning to the main tax portal, those are resources there for you, and we encourage you to use those. At the bottom of the page, you'll see the olive green colored section. That is a webinar information. We have, of course, today is the last segment for this topic for municipal assessing agents, and those are soon to be, those recordings are soon to be posted to the website. Of course, you don't have to wait until they are, because as attendees, you will get a link to watch the recording from today's webinar, and you'll get that in your email tomorrow. But in the near future, we'll be having the video posted on the website, and you'll see recording of past webinars. If you want to view those recordings, you can. And there's recordings from the past several years, including the implementation of all the prior highlighted tax types, and you'll find that useful as well. And our contact information is the last piece. If you need to reach us, we do have a couple of contact numbers to tell you about. The first is the Taxpayer Contact Center, and you'll see underneath the 4 rollout boxes, there is a link and a telephone number, and that will connect you with the Taxpayer Contact Center. And that telephone number and email address really are for those individuals who have questions about the portal itself. If you have trouble logging in using your username and password, that team is dedicated to answer those kinds of questions. So their telephone number is 207-624-9784. Once again, 207-624-9784. The email address is taxpayerassist@maine.gov. Once again, taxpayerassist@maine.gov. If you have questions that are more for the property tax division directly, questions, tax-related questions, and so forth, you should contact that division, and I'll give you their phone number. It's not listed on this page, but it is listed on the Maine Revenue Services homepage. But for your convenience, I'll just read it for you now so you have it. It's, again, this is the Property Tax Division, 207-624-5600. Again, that's 207-624-5600. Their email address is prop.tax@maine.gov. Once again, that's prop, P-R-O-P, .tax@maine.gov. We appreciate your attention, and I think we're ready to close out today's session. Looks like most of the questions have been answered. The last few that came in are being worked on right as we speak. And I'll just highlight a few of the important things that we talked about today before we end today's webinar. But first, we want to thank our presenters. So Lisa did a fantastic job as always, and her team, Lisa, Heather, and Rachel, for all their help behind the scenes with demonstrating the main tax portal. So we thank them, and thank all of our attendees for taking the time out of your afternoon to join us and learn about the main tax portal. As a reminder, we have recorded today's webinar, and we will be sending out a link to watch the recording in your inbox tomorrow. We want to recap those few important points: that the main tax portal is now open for individuals and Maine businesses to file and pay taxes, view notices, and much more. And specifically for our audience today, the real estate controlling interest for municipal assessing officials went live on October 15th, 2024. And you can visit the main tax portal information page, where you can get access to the resources I told you about, the FAQs, the instructional videos, and so forth. And that web address, one more time, is maine.gov/revenue/portal. And if anybody has a question about the main tax portal username or password, like trouble with the portal itself, you can reach our Taxpayer Contact Center at 207-624-9784, and their email address, taxpayerassist@maine.gov. And those questions, tax-related questions for the Property Tax Division specifically, you can reach them at 207-624-5600. And their email address is prop.tax lisa.maine.gov. Thank you all so much for attending today. Very nice to have you here with us, and we wish you a great rest of your day.